What's up, team? Today, I want to cover one of the more important aspects of getting started on your journey, especially for a first time entrepreneur, or maybe the first couple times you've tried it hasn't gone well. What I want to talk about is how we find problems that are worth solving, right? Something to really build your business upon. And what I'd like to do by the end of this is really help you understand how you can learn how to identify real problems that people will actually pay you to solve. So, at the end of this, what I'm hoping to accomplish is a few things. So, really, I want to make sure we have an understanding of what makes a problem worth solving, how we distinguish between a nice to have and a must have type of solution, product, or service. We understand how to learn to identify, pain points in daily life, and then really evaluate problem severity and frequency. This is nothing too crazy here, but I think for a lot of newer folks, it's going to be important to understand these basic concepts. So, look, here's the big thing that we have to ask ourselves when we're on the journey of becoming an entrepreneur, getting our next startup up and running, or thinking about whether we can scale to a big number is the question of why start with the problem. And it's really simple. The biggest reason startups fail is that they're building something that nobody wants, right? Before you fall in love with your own solution, you need to fall in love with the problem. Great businesses solve real, painful problems that people actively are seeking solutions for. Okay. And a problem that's worth solving has really three main components to it. It's painful, it's frequent, and people are already spending time or money trying to solve for it. So let's think a little bit outside the box here, right? Where do we actually find problems like this? And there's a couple of different areas I like to look. I like to look in and around my own life and frustrations that I deal with on a regular basis. I like to look around my own professional expertise and industry knowledge that I have. So it could be a job I've had, a sport I've played, a lifestyle that I live. I also want to broaden this out to conversations with friends, family, colleagues, understand what's bothering other people, how they're working to solve them. You can even look in places you may not think of right off the bat, right? Online communities, forums, social media complaints that seem to pop up over and over again. It could be something as simple as fixing something that already exists, coming up with a new product, finding a solution to something that we thought was solved but didn't really truly solve it. And then a big part of this as well, and this is what I was alluding to there, is how do we look at existing solutions that are either outdated or poorly designed? And I think there's a big opportunity there as well. The next part of this is really understanding the severity of the problem, or what we call the problem severity test. So, not all problems are created equal. I'm sure you're thinking that as we're going through this. And so, I've got a basic framework that I use to evaluate problem severity, right? Is it hair on fire level problem, right? It's urgent. It's a critical problem that people will pay almost anything to solve for immediately. Okay. Then there's painful, significant problems that cause real frustration or real cost. There's annoying, it's a minor inconvenience that people have learned to live with. And then there's the nice to have, problems people don't really think about solving. The problem is most of us, especially when we're just getting started or first time around, that's where we focus our time, not on the hair on fire problems, but on the nice to have. So to give you an example of this, think about like a restaurant owner who can't accept online orders during a pandemic. They have a hair on fire problem, right? Someone who wishes their email inbox was slightly more organized has a nice to have problem, right? One is critical in stopping business from happening. One is, a pain in the rear end, but really no big deal, and I can work around it. So just to take a quick pause here, what I want to call it again to reiterate all of this is that the best problems to solve are ones where people are already spending money on suboptimal solutions. This proves that they do want to fix it and they are willing to pay for it. It's a good starting place when you're building your business. Now, what are some of the common mistakes here? Well, it's easy. Many, many, many of us are guilty of falling in love with our own solutions before we actually validate it with the broader market. We also like to assume that our problem is universal without actually confirming that it is. It might be a big problem for you, but is it a big problem for lots of people? Sometimes it isn't. We also want to make sure we're not focusing on problems only you have, right? We call that a sample size of one. We want to make sure you can build a large, sustainable, growable business, not just fixing problems in your own life. And then the biggest thing, and we see this a lot, unfortunately, because people don't always put in the work, we ignore existing solutions and competition that may have already fixed what we perceive as being an unserviced area. So what I want to call out here is a major, major warning sign and a full stop here before I say another word. Never, ever build a solution in search of a problem. Always start with a validated problem that causes real pain. So what does this mean? This means don't just start building something and then try to find people who have that problem and would maybe be willing to pay to solve that problem. So I'm going to say that again. Don't build a solution that's looking for a problem. Look for problems and find ways to solve for that. Okay. This is my basic framework of how I think about this. This is the basic framework of how I've built a number of my own businesses. This is what I look for when I'm joining startups. This is what I look for when I'm investing in startups. So, just to give you a really basic wrap up here at the end, the key takeaways I want you to leave with is that you need to start with the problem, not with the solution. The best problems are painful, they're frequent, and they're already being addressed with suboptimal solutions. We want you to look for hair on fire problems that people urgently need solved. And then finally, what I really want you to do is talk to potential customers before building anything. If you need more help with this, or you're still a little confused, or you're not sure if you're doing it the right way, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'm more than happy to have a quick conversation to make sure you feel good about it. I'm not looking to be your advisor, but I know that oftentimes people don't really have a mentor. And in a world of YouTube videos where everyone has made hundreds of millions of dollars and are going to sell you something, I'm actually more than happy just to give you a quick word of advice and make sure you're looking at the right way. So, team, with that, I hope this was useful. I hope you got some value out of it. And what I really want to stress more than anything is it has to be worth building. But we don't lift the first stone, we don't swing the hammer on the first blow. It has got to be worth solving for. So, with that, thanks so much. Have a good rest of the day. Bye, everybody.